welcome to Power BI Manchester, of course. We thought what we'd do is just have a little bit of a look at what you can do with Power Automate really easily with a tool that I've used a little bit of, which is Planner. So my history is Microsoft Project. Because of Microsoft Project, I get involved in Microsoft Planner, which is a very lightweight, noddy project management tool. A bit of a Kanban board. And the issue that we have with Planner ultimately is that there is no reporting interface into Planner. You can go into Planner and you can export the tasks into Excel, but you can't do anything else, right? It was written before Microsoft really created the Dataverse, or whatever they call that now. Okay, so the data's stored somewhere in a cloud, but you can't really get at it. So what we'll do is we'll give you a quick demo of Planner so that you know where we're at. Before we do that, let's just have a look at what we do. Actually, it says it on the slides here. So we take data from Planner. We go and grab that in Power Automate. We stick it in our ubiquitous data source. Some people would like to see SQL in there, but of course we all know that 70% of an organization's data is stored in Excel, right? Because I'm a citizen dev, right? I haven't written a proper piece of code for 35 years. Okay, and then of course we take that data and we stick it into Power BI. So that's kind of a bit of what I'm going to show you. But you need to understand a bit about Planner. Before we do the Planner piece, I thought I'd start at office.com so you can see the whole piece. So I'm going to, the Power Automate that I've got, the actual flow, we'll dig into it, but it does take 10 or so minutes to run. So it's not fast, but it's okay because this runs once a night, right? So it comes back to, again, performance versus usability. If this flow took 2 hours to run, really, I don't care, right? Because if I'm just running it once a night at midnight, who cares? Doesn't worry me whether it takes 2 minutes or 12, not 12 hours, but as long as it's ready for the morning, I don't really care about optimizing it because that costs me time. It costs my customers money, right? It takes 7 hours. Well, it's just Microsoft's cost. Yeah. So I don't really mind. So we're going to start this. You'll see that actually it runs every night anyway at around midnight. But I should just be able to click on run here. We'll just run that flow. We'll start it off. We'll interrogate and have a look at the flow later. And we'll just click done. And that will just hopefully just start running that flow. So yeah, that's running in the background. That's great. Let's have a look at Planner. So we should have Planner somewhere up here. So this isn't necessarily a plug for Planner. Does anybody use Planner? Yeah, okay. Good. So what does Planner do? Well, Planner allows me to create a plan and assign tasks to different people in that plan and track those tasks. And when I say track, I can say a task is started, in progress, or complete. Okay, those are my three options. And I could assign them to different people, but I can't define the amount of work in a plan or a task, okay? So I can't say that's 12 hours worth of work or whatever. I can give it a date I'd like it to start by, and I can give it a date I'd like it to finish by, okay? But there's no understanding of an estimation of work, and there's no real relationship between one task and another. So there's no relationship between finishing this task and then starting that task. Okay, so there's that schedule, that scheduling isn't there in Planner. It is in Microsoft Project. Okay, so I'll give you a quick view and we'll see if we can, we'll go and create a new plan. We'll give it a name, so we'll just call it PBI Manchester drinking beer plan. Has anybody ever had a plan to drink beer? Tonight? Yeah, okay, great. So I'll go and create that plan. It's all well and good. And then simply I can begin to add some tasks. So we might say, I need to go and buy beer. Okay, and then we can assign that, so we can add that task. And once we've added that task, we can do different things to it. So let's see if Alex is here. Yeah, Alex, you're going to go and buy the beer. Okay. And we're going to assign the task to Alex and add Alex to our little group for buying beer. Okay, so that's all okay. And we can put that in a bucket, which is to do. We can say that actually he's now, let's just say it was in progress, which it was earlier. We can give it a priority. So we can say that's urgent. And we're going to start that today. And it's certainly due today as well. I can do lots of other things and add some photos and all of that little lot. That's effectively what Planner is. I can go and add a new bucket. So we might add a new bucket. We might call that shopping. Okay, so we'll put the buy beer in the shopping bucket. Okay, and I can begin to categorize my tasks like that. So this is just basically a Kanban board. So anybody that's dealt with Trello or anything, they're very similar. Okay. Planner's available as part of your E3 license. So what we started to see when I go and see customers is everybody's using Planner for project management because, you know, the majority of business users are using have E3 and therefore this is free, as opposed to Microsoft Project that you have to go and kind of go and buy. Okay, as an additional license, as a named, you know, they have licenses called P1, P3 and P5. Okay, so I want a job in Microsoft Marketing. Okay, because then I can sell Office licenses and I can spend a year coming up with 01, 03 and 05. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so that's Planner. We can do lots of things in that and we can have lots of plans, but that's the upshot of it. Okay, if I wanted to historically report in Planner, I would click on the ellipses here and I would say, let's export the plan to Excel. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll open this in Excel and this is what I get. Now, I was at an MVP conference several years ago and I said to Microsoft, we get together with a product team. And I said, when are you going to provide, you know, some good reporting for Planner? And they said, what's wrong with exporting to Excel? And I went, So we kind of had a bit of a conversation, which I didn't win because, you know, that guy gets paid £300,000 or £400,000 a year, and I don't get paid anywhere near that. So I thought there's got to be a better way of doing this, and Microsoft really haven't opened this up yet. So that's where we were kind of a while back. And I was thinking about this, and I'm a bit sad. I lay in bed at night thinking about work problems that aren't really problems, but just things that I could interestingly fix. Yeah, anybody else do that? People are pointing at Dave Scully here, right? This is why we give up Thursday nights, isn't it? It's come to something like this, because yeah, it's not for the quality of the wine. It's just because we kind of think like this. Okay, so I thought about this and I thought, well, there must be a better way to do this. And so I thought what I'll do is I'll write a flow. Now, I don't know much about Power Automate because I am a citizen developer. So let's just go and edit this flow. Hopefully that's going to do this. Okay, so this flow is all basically the same. Okay, there's 5 or 6 strands to it. Let's just see if we can fit this on a single page here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parallel sets of processes working, if you like. They're all fairly similar. So what we do is I decided, of course, because again, I'm a citizen developer, right? So I can just about spell SQL Server, but I can't do anything else with SQL Server. But I can spell and work with Excel. So I thought, okay, we'll kind of store the entities, if you like. If you think about a plan, we've actually got the plan name. So we've got a list of plans. Each plan has a list of buckets. Each plan has a list of tasks. Each plan has a list of users. The users are actually assigned to a task. That was about as far as I got. And then somebody said, hey, can you add checklist items in here? So I thought, yeah, we'll add checklist items in. So these things are effectively the same. So what we do is The meat happens kind of here is we go and we list the set of teams available in our Office 365 environment, because plans are associated with teams. So once we list the teams, then for each teams list, we can then go and list the plans for the team. Okay, so team A has these plans and team B has these other plans. And then for each plan, we can go and list the tasks. And then for each task, we can add each task into a row and a table. Okay, so we add that into a row and a table. Now, this is about the only bit of configuration you have to do in this, but you have to do it multiple times. You have to say, where is that Excel file stored? So in my demo, I store it in a SharePoint folder location called APO group. It's in a document library called documents. The file is plannertasks.xls. And then the table that I'm going to write this into, because Flow allows me to write and delete from tables, is just called task_TBL, right? Because I'm a simple guy, and therefore I don't call it table 1, I call it task_TBL, so I know what we're referencing. And then we can match up and marry various attributes from the task to a column in the table. So I take the task title and I write it into the table, and I write start date and created day, created time, start time, created time, due date, completed. There's some things that we can't write in that really I should go back and fix, but I'm not getting paid for this, right? And so I don't go back and fix it. But assign to user ID. The issue with this is that one task can be assigned to one or more people, and therefore this is just a flat table. I don't have the opportunity to really create that relationship. Yeah, so there's a few things that kind of just don't work, that aren't available, which cause everything to crash. But ultimately, that's what we do. We write some things into the task table. Okay. Now, before we write it in, you'll see right at the top here, I went to the same Excel spreadsheet and I deleted all of the rows. Okay, because one of the problems I had was that I couldn't figure out, can I just add new tasks in? Because it's expensive, right, to go through 1,000 tasks, delete them all, and then add in 1,001 because between yesterday and today I added in one task. That's expensive. But I couldn't figure out a way to say, hey, let's just add new tasks. Okay, or how do I identify the tasks that have been deleted in Planner? Yeah, again, that was a difficult thing. So I can delete a task in Planner. I don't want it left in that tasks table thinking that we still got to report on it. So again, I took the, you might say lazy option. I would say pragmatic, right? Of just saying, hey, this isn't my dollar that I'm spending on CPU time deleting tasks. It's Microsoft's dollar, right? So I don't care, right? So I go through every table first of all. We clear out every table, and then we add everything back in. Okay, it works, right? And we do that for tasks. We do it for the buckets. We do it for the plans. So that's easy. We go through and we get the name of the plan. We do it for the assignments. So we can see who's assigned to each task if necessary. We do it for the users, so we can see who's assigned to each task. So we can match these up because they're assigned with a user ID. So I'll have a GUID, and then we need to relate that GUID to Ben Howard somewhere along the line, because I might change my name, but the GUID stays the same, right? And then lastly, finally, we do this for checklist items. So we write that to an Excel spreadsheet. So let's just go and have a look at this Excel spreadsheet. If we go www.sharepoint.com, maybe. I should really get at this way. Let's do it this way. Okay, so frequented sites. Here's my APO group site. And lo and behold, it's already taken me to the file or the Excel spreadsheet which I'd used previously. Discover new changes. No, don't show on that. So what you can see is I've got, let's take something simple. I've got a plans table. So this is the table we're writing into. So in flow under that branch for the plan, I say delete everything in this table. The table itself, of course, is, if we look at the table design, is called the plan table. So first thing we do is we delete every item out of there and then we repopulate it. And we've got things like basically two things in here, the plan ID and the plan name. We'll go through the buckets. So again, for each bucket, we have a plan ID, a bucket ID, and a bucket name. Okay, so multiple plans have got this bucket name called to do, as you might expect, because it's the first one we created. We do the same for tasks, and we've got all of that data coming in for tasks. Plainly, now having listened to Nick's session, I would split this created time up. Do I do it? Probably not, because, you know, I might have 1,000 tasks, 1 million rows, 10 million rows, 5 billion rows. I'd be concerned, but not for the number of tasks people are going to create in Planner. But that's okay. We do that. We have the same for assignments down here. So each assignment has a plan, a task ID, and a user assignment ID. And then for each user, we have that user ID and some sort of name in here. Okay, Lewis, you're in here. Well done. Have you done that task? No, I know, too busy. Okay, and then I had a kind of a checklist item, so you can say, you know, has this checklist item on this task been done or not? So that's what we do. So that kind of populates that, and then we go and we open up our good friend Power BI. Okay, now what I ended up doing was I ended up sticking this on YouTube and sticking this solution up on GitHub, because the whole reason for doing this is when you Googled, you know, how do I put an enterprise, and I'm not sure that this is enterprise, but how do I put a reporting system in for Planner? It didn't exist. And so I stuck all of this little lot on GitHub and YouTube, and I'm now going to have to eat my own dog food, as we used to say at Microsoft, and I'm going to download, and you'll see how really good I am at GitHub here. Download that file, which is what is effectively a Power BI template. Okay, so Power BI template is a predefined set of Power BI visuals, and then you just pointed at the data source. Okay, and the data source in this case says, we put a little bit of blurb in there, but it says, give me the Excel file web URL. So that's the link to that Excel file. And it kind of tells you how to do this. It says the Power BI template that takes the data stored in SharePoint, enter the path to the Excel file stored in SharePoint into the path can be found there. I've got to read this because I kind of can't remember. The copy path button in the Excel app. Okay, so if we go back to here, we open this Excel app. Then if I edit this, I open it in the desktop app. Okay, here's all my tasks, etc. Come on. Okay. And this is the typical thing you need to do in Power BI. If you just want to refresh from Excel and this data is stored in SharePoint, you need to click on File, Info, and Copy Path. Okay. And if we open up Notepad, oh yeah, not that one. If we open it up, it gives you a link like that. And what you need to do is remove the percent of a question mark web equals 1, which basically tells the application to open it up in the web browser. Okay, so we can grab that, Control C. We can come out of Excel, of course. We throw that in there, and we can paste that into there. Okay, so the Power BI file now knows where to go and get the Excel file from. We can click load. That will take a little time. That will read in all of those tables. And then we get, hopefully, a beautiful Power BI report. Pretty simple. We've got a list of plans in there. So across the top, what I tried to do is I tried to replicate, and I did nick the colors from Microsoft. So for their Power BI for their planner dashboards, they use certain colors, and they use this donut. I remember when this donut was coming along, Microsoft, they showed us this donut, and they showed us in all of their latest visualizations. It's about 4 years ago. And so some people started, it was at an MVP conference, everything's, hush hush, and you can't talk about anything. And people started using donuts like this with very thin lines. Oh, we got slaps on the wrist from Microsoft saying, you can't do that. We own the donut. Right? You don't own the donut, mate. Donuts for to share. Everybody could have a big bite of donut. So it started doing this. Anyway, that's it. So the nice thing is we can go and search for a plan or do whatever and go and have a look at downtown delivery plan, or go and search across different buckets or different users. What's Lewis? What are you? Oh, you're in here twice, mate. Okay. A bit shocking that you can't. I'll obviously only give you one task. That's your task, mate. Whatever it is, should say. In fact, it's completed. But we were doing something on some Samsung things. Okay. And obviously, you would then go through the next piece. You would publish this to your Power BI service. You would set up a nightly refresh. So mine's set up to refresh at about 1 o'clock because the flow is set to go at midnight or something like that. And that's it. And so all that we need to do, all our users need to do, is just update Planner and their Planner tasks, and then they can get some reports in Power BI. So there's nothing too sexy in there. There's nothing too complex. It's all on GitHub. It's all there for free. I get a comment every day, and it either says, Ben, this is the best thing since sliced bread. Let me come and buy you tons of beer, right? Or it says it's broken. How do I fix it? Yeah. Yeah, mainly it's a first, but I do get some that it's broken. And if this happens to you and anybody out there watching, here's my mobile number's all over the place. But better than that, in the deployment options, I kind of tell you how to fix it. If you get this error, right, then go and watch this video instead. Okay. Hey. Okay. So what I did was I'd seen this error, but it was all in Dutch, right? And I don't know about you, but my Dutch isn't up to scratch. It isn't quite what it used to be. And so I had a lovely lady in the US who said, Ben, I've got this error. And I said, oh, great. Let's get onto Teams and let's share it. And can I record it and we'll all fix it? And so we did. And so that ended up with that video there as well. So if you're using Planner and you need a solution to take all of that data automatically into Power BI, feel free to use that one. Please do so. If you haven't used Flow and you're kind of just interested, then you can have a look at that and say, how do I use Flow? But, my learning from it is that, yeah, I'd love to stick everything in a SQL database, but it doesn't always work because I have to go and find a DBA and I have to spin up something on Azure and I have to pay for that and I don't have to manage it. Whereas Excel's kind of just free. And so long as I've got, less than 50, 60,000 rows, and let's face it, who's going to have 50 or 60,000 tasks in Planner? Then I'm kind of going to be okay. Yeah. Now, Adrian, you're laughing, so I suspect either you have or current company has. All right, so that was all I wanted to cover off, which is nicely taken us through to about 7:30, so pizza should be around the corner. Do we have any questions? Yeah. So the caveat is you can create a planner plan and not associate it with a team. Bizarrely, yeah, or an Office 365 group, but we've got kind of go and look at teams. So yeah, you have to associate it with your planner plan has to be associated with one, at least, well, with associated with a team. So it has to have that association. Other questions I've had is, hey, Ben, I don't want to bring back, all of the planner plans. I only am interested in one for this team. Well, again, you can modify the flow just to put the team ID in there. You probably modify the flow to put in multiple team IDs in there. But again, I kind of have this view, if it takes it 6 hours or 1 hour to run through all of the teams and get all of that data, I don't care, because what I should really do then is go to Power Query and just remove all of the teams that I'm not interested in. Yeah, that's pragmatic. Might not be the best, most cost efficient, the best, might not be the neatest development solution, but it is the neatest pragmatic solution. So yeah, great question. Okay, so Microsoft Project is, so a flat Microsoft Project file is an MPP file that you store on a file system. That is basically it's a blob. It's not accessible. There's no APIs for it. If, however, you use Project Online, Microsoft Project Online, which you require a P3 license for, then you're using the full fat client of Project and you're storing the data effectively in Project Online. That is exposed via an OData feed. Go and have a look on GitHub under me and you'll find a Power BI template file for that. If you're using the new Project for the web application, which is just a browser-based lightweight scheduling tool, then there's a Microsoft Publish, a Power BI template file to access that data, because that data is actually stored in the Dataverse. Okay. So thank you from Nick. I hope you enjoyed his session. Thank you from Alec, who you can go on, who provides a beer and a pizza. Thank you from me. Do give us a feedback. Remote, does remote stuff work well? What worked well? What didn't work well? I thought about how we'd run this and then kind of changed it midweek and thought, well, this is about the right way to do it. So that worked okay. Let us know what you want to present, although we've got most of the sessions sorted. If you do want to present, then, drop me or Alex a mail. Customer case studies are great because that's, you can read about all the tech stuff, right, online. And there's a gazillion videos on YouTube, but how has somebody actually deployed the tech to solve a problem and what's the impact been on the business? Those are the things that people really want to hear about all the time. So that's all well and good. That I think is it. Thank you very much, unless there's anything else.
This is Alex now, joining the online session. Just want to quickly wrap up and thank Ben and Nicola for this evening's session. If you come on late or missed any of it, it'll be available on the YouTube channel and also available via the same link on Teams. Next month's session is on Thursday, the 31st of March. We're back here in Spinningfields, also live on Teams with Augustin Dukoza Bukovic. And he will be confirming his title shortly. Also, we've got Jamie Dowell's going to do a chat on Power Apps, and we may also get Ben to do something funky as well. But yes, that's in 5 weeks' time. Thank you very much who's attended in person this evening. Thank you to everyone who's watched online, who's watching it back online. And do get in touch if you need support with your work. And I'll also be sending through on the meetup details of our training sessions, which are going ahead in March and April. Thank you very much. Enjoy your evening. And the pizzas are here. Sorry for the guys online. Take care. Take care. All the best. Bye now.